Sacred geometry is sometimes described as the divine language of creation, or as an angelic language, because higher spiritual beings can communicate and create through the language of sacred geometry. This divine language of sacred geometry forms was also known as the secret script in some spiritual traditions. The spiritual initiation process of humans learning to read this divine language has been expressed in many different ways, including as learning to read in the book of nature. We saw in our last episode that sacred geometry patterns are at their highest level, thought forms in the mind of God, which provide the energy blueprints for the creation of all physical existence. These patterns hold the secret of materialization, how to control the manifestation of energy and spirit into solid physical matter. In our previous episode, we introduced the first pattern, or what we could call the first letter in the language of sacred geometry, which was the point in the center of the circle. The point in the center is the zero-dimensional gateway to the divine plane. The point in the center is called the singularity in physics. It is the unified field where everything is united into the one. The point then expands outwards to create a circle or a sphere in 3 dimensions. The sphere is the container for materializing the physical world. In our previous episode, we experienced how the point in the center of the circle or sphere image is the secret for activating any energy center in the human body. As you learned then how to use this energy pattern to activate the cave of Brahma in the center of your head, which then creates the golden sphere of activated consciousness around your entire head. We also saw from modern Egyptian biogeometry the geometric shapes which resonate with specific levels of manifestation, which are the planes of creation. The zero-dimensional point, the center point, is the literal gateway for the divine plane. The circle or the sphere is the container of the physical plane. The circle and the sphere are considered to be the perfect forms in the divine alphabet of sacred geometry because they are perfectly balanced. Every point on the periphery of the circle or sphere, the boundary of creation, is the exact same distance from the divine plane at the center. Let's read in the book of nature and see how the sphere is a key to manifesting energy and consciousness from higher worlds into physical matter. Ancient diagrams of spiritual creation of the world are filled with images of circles and spheres which hold creation. In ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was considered sacred, linked to protection and magical rejuvenation, because it creates spheres out of dung, which will then burst forth with its children. This is a microcosm of the divine sphere of all of creation. The scarab was also linked to the power of the sun, the sphere which rolls across the sky giving life to the world. We see physical reality because we have the sphere of our eye. All of our current technology is based on electromagnetic energy, which is usually thought of as 2-dimensional waves. But new research is showing that rather than flat sine waves, electromagnetic energy is in reality 3-dimensional spheres. The experiments of engineer Larry Spring showed that the frequency of so-called electromagnetic waves actually indicates the physical size of an electromagnetic sphere, which is rotating while traveling in space. This means that the positive and negative alternation of the 2-dimensional wave is in fact simply a 2-dimensional outline of part of the boundary of the rotating electromagnetic sphere. Similarly, acoustic imaging expert John Stuart Reid of Britain has shown that sound waves are in fact spheres, pulsating bubbles of acoustic energy. We'll explore John's breakthrough work in cymatic sound imaging in a later episode of this series. The European masons who built the great cathedrals of Europe called their work the royal art. The royal art is the transformation of the physical world into the new golden age through applying the divine patterns of sacred geometry. Just as the Masons transformed stones and trees into temples, into physical chalices for the divine to pour into. The royal art is a high secret of original Masonic initiation, which is the establishing on earth of the sacred geometry patterns for the next round of human evolution. But tragically, it has been almost forgotten today. The Masonic image of the compass and square is based on the practical tools to create circular and square forms in sacred design. The great sacred builders of the past, from Europe, Egypt, India, and every other great world culture, knew that each time they created a circle or sphere in their designs, they were recreating the original act of creation from the Godhead,